वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना
यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन
यमुनतीरावनचारी
यमुनतीरावनचारी
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे
जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय श्री श्री राधा माधवाष्ट सखी की जय श्री श्री गौरनिताय की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
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 भगवत गीता चैप्टर 4 वर्स 13 चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं
गुणकर्मा विभागशः
गुणकर्म विभागशः
तस्य कर्तारमपि मां
तस्य कर्तारमपि मां
विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्
विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्
प्लीज चैंट
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं
गुणकर्म विभागशः
गुणकर्मा विभागशः
तस्य कर्तारमपि मां
तस्य कर्तारमपि मां
विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्
विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्।
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया
सृष्टं
सृष्टं
गुणकर्म विभागशः
गुणकर्मा
गुणकर्म
विभागशः
विभागशः
तस्य कर्तारमपि मां
तस्य
तस्य
कर्तारमपि
कर्तारमपि
मां
विद्याकर्तारमव्ययम्
विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्।
विद्यकर्तारमव्ययम्
Anyone else would like to chant? Is Tulsi there?
Yes, Mataji.
Do you want to chant?
Yes. चतुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्मा विभागशः तस्य कीर्तनमपि मां विधि आकृतमव्ययम्.
Okay. Synonyms: Chatuhu Varnyam.
चातुर्वर्ण्यं
The 4 divisions of human society.
the 4 divisions of human society.
Maya,
Maya,
by me.
by me.
By me,
Srishtam,
system
Srishtam,
created.
created.
Guna,
Guna
of quality.
of
of
quality.
quality.
Karma,
Karma
and work.
and work.
Vibhagashaha.
Vibhagashaha.
In terms of division.
Become the division.
Tasya,
Tasya.
of that.
Of that.
Kartaram,
Kartaram.
the father.
The father.
Api,
Apihi.
although.
Although.
Mam,
Mom.
me,
Me.
vidhi,
Vidhi.
you may know.
You may know.
Akartaram,
Akartaram.
as the non-doer.
And does not do.
Avyayam,
Avyam.
unchangeable.
Unchangeable.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. The Lord is the creator of everything. Everything is born of Him. Everything is sustained by Him. And everything after annihilation rests in Him. He is therefore the creator of the four divisions of the social order, beginning with the intelligent class of men, technically called Brahmanas, due to their being situated in the mode of goodness. Next is the administrative class, technically called the Kshatriyas, due to their being situated in the mode of passion. The mercantile men, called the Vaishyas, are situated in the mixed modes of passion and ignorance. And the Shudras or laborer class are situated in the ignorant mode of material nature. In spite of his creating the four divisions of human society, Lord Krishna does not belong to any of these divisions because he is not one of the conditioned souls, a section of whom form human society. Human society is similar to any other animal society, but to elevate men from the animal status, the above mentioned divisions are created by the Lord for the systematic development of Krishna consciousness. The tendency of a particular man toward work is determined by the modes of material nature, which he has acquired. Such symptoms of life, according to the different modes of material nature, are described in the 18th chapter of this book. A person in Krishna consciousness, however, is above even the Brahmanas. Although Brahmanas by quality are supposed to know about Brahman, the absolute, supreme absolute truth, most of them approach only the impersonal Brahman manifestation of Lord Krishna. But a man who transcends the limited knowledge of a Brahmana and reaches the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, becomes a person in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, a Vaishnava. Krishna consciousness includes knowledge of all different plenary expansions of Krishna, namely Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, etc. And as Krishna is transcendental to this system of the four divisions of human society, a person in Krishna consciousness is also transcendental to all divisions of human society, whether we consider the divisions of community, nation, or species. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this verse is a very important verse. Srila Prabhupada quotes it many times. He also lectured a lot on this verse when this website Prabhupada Vani, when it was not so evolved, they used to just play lectures randomly, and this verse used to come many times at that time. So this verse specifically describes about 4 varnas. Varna actually means color. It also means divisions of society, but varna can also be interpreted as color. So just like there are like 3 basic colors, to form these varnas, it is based upon 3 modes of material nature. Prabhupada described in the purport that the mode of goodness is what Brahmanas have, and mode of passion is what Kshatriyas constitute of, and Vaishyas are a mix of mode of passion and ignorance. Shudras are completely in the mode of ignorance. So there can be many permutations. Have you heard of that term, permutations and combinations? It's a math term. Did anyone hear that before? Yeah, okay. So it's just different combinations. Suppose if we have heads and tails, and we are trying to play these dice like 2 times, there can be different kind of combinations that may occur. It could be 2 heads, it could be 2 tails, it could be head and a tail and tail and a head. This is called permutations. So we have 3 modes, and then 3 modes, when they're mixed with 3 modes, then it could be 9 different combinations. And then when those 9 different combinations, when they again are mixed with 9 different combinations, these are like 4 parts, like goodness, 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 or goodness, passion, 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 goodness, passion, ignorance, goodness, like that. So there can be 81 different kinds of human beings like that. So even though there are these 4 varnas, it's not like each person will completely possess only one kind of varna. It could be a combination. Sometimes there can be like pure Brahmanas, pure Kshatriyas. If all the 4 parts are all mode of goodness for them, they're completely pure. But mostly it's mixed. It could be partly Kshatriyas and partly Brahmanas, and there could be other tendencies as well, Vaishya and Shudra, like that. So that is the different permutations, and with all these different combinations, 8,400,000 species they happen. They get formed because of all these different combinations. And then these 4 varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they are based on how much intelligence a person has. So Brahmanas are the ones who are highly intelligent. And Kshatriyas, they are less intelligent than Brahmanas. And then Vaishyas, they're less intelligent than Kshatriyas also. They're less intelligent than Brahmanas, they're less intelligent than Kshatriyas. And then Shudras, they're less intelligent than everyone else. So this is the intelligence hierarchy of the 4 varnas. And this system of varnashrama is created by Krishna. Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam. Maya Srishtam means I created. Krishna is talking to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he's saying, I created this system of 4 varnas. So Krishna, when he creates something, it's not to give somebody some advantageous position and someone else a lesser position. Like people think, Brahmanas probably have advantageous position and I have a lesser position. But the fact that Krishna has created this system makes it, it's not for anyone's advantage. It's for everybody's advantage, because Krishna is equal to everybody. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. No one is my enemy. No one is very dear to me. Everyone is equal to me. So if Krishna created this system, if someone is a Shudra, if someone is a Brahmana, it's not to oppress somebody who's a Shudra. It is to give an opportunity to everybody to execute what they want to execute. And this system will help everybody advance, whether it is a Shudra or a Brahmana. Everyone can advance. So this Varnashrama system is also, depicted as the body, social body. And Brahmanas, they are considered as the head or the brain. Sometimes Prabhupada refers to them as the brain also. And Kshatriyas, they are considered as the arms. Vaishyas are considered as the belly. Actually, this one is showing thighs. Sometimes in the universal form also it shows like thighs, but Vaishyas are considered like the belly of the social system. Shudras are the legs. So no part is less important. Everything is important. But out of all, Brahmanas are the most important. Because a person can live if there are no legs. He can live if there are no arms. He can live if, I don't think he can live if there is no belly, but if there are no thighs, he can live. And then if there is no head, no one can live. So Brahmanas are very important part of the society because they are like the intelligence of the society. Anyone can go to a Brahmana and get the desired, required knowledge for anything. Like sometimes people, maybe they are confused about what to do, what not to do. At that time, they go and talk to the Brahmanas. That facility was available in the Vedic society. So this is how a Brahmanas are important. And Kshatriyas, they are required to protect the society. It's just like, when someone attacks us, we immediately use our hands to protect ourselves. Either we save our own body with the hands, like cover ourselves when something is attacking us, or we try to, push it away, or we try to fight. But the hands are the ones which will do the job of protection. So that's why Kshatriyas are considered like hands. And Vaishyas, they are the ones who produce food grains, and they are the ones who protect the cows. So they are like, they provide the food for the society. That's why they are considered like the belly. And Shudras, they do all the work. They go everywhere and do all the work. That's why they are like the legs. So this Varnashrama system, traditional system, is corrupted. Lately, it's very corrupted. People who are born in the family, even if they don't possess the qualities of that particular Varna, they started advertising themselves as a Brahmana, as a Kshatriya, as a Vaishya. So because of that, the so-called caste system is developed in India. People just considered that they are a certain Varna just because of their birth. But Krishna never said that. Krishna said, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. So it's not by birth that someone becomes a Brahmana. It's by qualities and by the activities they perform. So if somebody is born in a Brahmin family, but he doesn't have any Brahminical qualities, then he's not considered a Brahmana. He's considered as a Brahma Bandhu. He's not even a Brahmana. And at the same time, if someone is born in a Shudra family or even a Mlecha family, but he displays the characters of a Brahmana and he wants to do the work that is associated with the Brahminical Varna, then he is considered as a Brahmana. But because it is so perverted, people who don't have any of those qualities, they started claiming themselves as Brahmanas, and then they were mistreating other Varnas. So this is how the perverted caste system became very prevalent in India. And that's not what Krishna recommended. It's just like the degradation of anything else in Kali Yuga, the whole system of Varnashrama is degraded. And that's what mostly is taught in schools and colleges in North America. And that's what India means. India means caste system. People in upper caste like Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, they look down upon Shudras and they inflict a lot of pain and they just keep them away, mistreat them. This is what people teach, but they don't really teach what it was meant for. That's not given. And because of that, as soon as someone sees an Indian, like if somebody is like you're meeting for the first time, they immediately ask about this caste system. So it's very important that we learn in detail so that we can answer all these questions about caste system, especially for the kids who go to school. They need to understand what actually our scriptures say. Otherwise, it's very easy to just get turned off about the whole system. That's what the whole brainwashing is about, that the Vedic culture is not very humane. That's the kind of end it reaches to. So it's important that we understand all the intricacies so that we won't get diverted or distracted. So lot of these details are there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 11. The context is Yudhishthira. He was, Narada Muni was visiting Yudhishthira, King Yudhishthira, and then Yudhishthira had a question during Rajasuya sacrifice. This Shishupala was killed, and then after that the soul of Shishupala merged into Krishna. So Yudhishthira was so surprised. He was like, Shishupala is such a big demon, and how could he attain Sayujya Mukti? How can Krishna be so kind? Then Narada Muni was explaining about Jaya Vijaya, how they were devotees and then they had to take 3 lifetimes. And in that context, he explains about Hiranyakashipu also, and he explains about Prahlad, the qualities of Prahlad. And then after that, Yudhishthira, he asks about this Varnashrama system. So Varnashrama system is actually the highest status of human civilization. So he asked Narada Muni that you know everything and you are the preacher for everybody. So you please tell me what it is all about. And then Narada Muni, he tells not his own version of it, but he tells as Narayana states. So he's not trying to make up his own thing. He's trying to give us whatever Krishna has given. So before he gives the qualities and activities of different varnas, he gives the 30 qualities every human being must cultivate. So this is a big list. It doesn't matter which varna we are in, but we have to cultivate these 30 qualities. So the first one is truthfulness. So this kind of is very, very important, because truthfulness is practically becoming zero in Kali Yuga. That's actually the only limb of dharma that is left a little bit, but the more and more Kali Yuga progresses, we see that truthfulness is non-existent. People just lie at the slightest reason. Truthfulness is becoming extinct. Mercy, austerity, observing fasts on certain days of the month, bathing twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, non-violence, celibacy, charity, reading of scripture, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements, observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society, remaining silent and grave and avoiding unnecessary talk, considering whether one is the body or the soul, distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals, seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as a part of the Supreme Lord, hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of the saintly persons, chanting about these activities and instructions, always remembering these activities and instructions, trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrendering one's whole self. O King Yudhishthira, these 30 qualifications must be acquired in the human form of life. Simply by acquiring these qualifications, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Did you see anything that you already know in here? Something that we all are familiar with. Did anyone notice anything? The last 9 topics are hearing about the activities, chanting these activities, always remembering these activities, trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrendering one's whole life. What is this? What are these?
Process of devotion.
Yeah, the 9 processes. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmani Vedanam. So these 9 processes, they can be executed by anybody, just a general human being. Anybody can execute these 9 processes. In fact, everyone should strive to execute these 9 processes. That's what Narada Muni is saying. So every human being should try for all these 30 qualities. And then Narada Muni goes and explains the specific qualities of each Varna. So Brahmana, the guna of Brahmana, the qualities of a Brahmana should be control of the mind, control of the senses, austerity and penance, cleanliness, satisfaction, forgiveness, simplicity, knowledge, mercy, truthfulness, and complete surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are a little more than Shamodama Tapashaucham. Narada Muni is explaining a little more than that. And in the following statements Narada Muni makes, he also explains what are the activities of a Brahmana. The Brahmana is supposed to study the Vedas, worship the deity, give charity. He should teach the Vedas, induce others to worship the deity, and also accept gifts. So the first 3 Brahmana should do without fail, compulsory. So studying the Vedas, worshipping the deity, and giving the charity, he can't give up. He has to do. The other 3, like by teaching, by inducing others to worship, by accepting gifts, he can get the necessities of his life. So he doesn't go work anywhere. Just by teaching and by helping others to worship, he can accept charity also. By doing these things, he can get some necessities of life. So he cannot go take up a professional occupational duty for his livelihood. He can only accept the charity. But to accept the charity, a Brahmana has to be pure. No one who is not pure can accept the charity according to the scriptures. So that's why no other Varnas No Kshatriya, no Vaishya, no Shudra can accept charity. So what if a Brahmana doesn't get any charity? In case of emergency, as an alternative, he may collect some food grains left here and there in the shops of the grain dealers. That is something that he can do as a step lower than just accepting charity. Or he may go collect the paddy, the rice with the husk is called paddy, left in a field by its proprietor. That is the next lower thing he can do. Even if that's not possible, he may beg in the paddy field every day, and then depend also on whatever is received if he goes there without begging. If nothing else works, he can take up the duty of a Vaishya. He can do the agriculture, he can do the cow protection, he can do the trade. But Vaishyas and Shudras, they can never take up the Brahminical position. Brahminical post cannot be taken by those Varnas. What Kshatriyas can do is, they can teach, if there is no other Brahmana, then they can teach the Vedic knowledge, but they can never accept charity. No one else can accept charity except pure Brahmana. Other people are not allowed to accept charity. So Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, they are never supposed to engage in anyone's service also for salary. So these are the injunctions for Brahmanas. So Brahmana, even though someone may be born in a different family, but if they display these inclinations, they are considered Brahmana. So there is a very famous story on this. There is somebody named Jabala. He wanted to learn the Vedic scriptures. So he goes to a guru and he asks, Gautama is the guru. He goes to the guru and he asks if he can learn from him. So Gautama Muni, he asks, who's your father? Like, what's your lineage? I want to know. But then this Jabala, he doesn't know who the father is. He only has the mother. So he said, I'll go ask my mother. So he goes and he asks his mother. His mother says, I was a slave for many people and I don't know who your father is. I am not sure who your father is. So this is something that no one wants to tell anybody. He's not from a proper family. His mother has been with many people. And how can you tell? But then Jabala goes back to Gautama Muni and then he tells, my dear teacher, I don't know who my father is. My mother doesn't know who my father is because she has been with many men before. So usually the answer would be like in the current society, they would say, oh, look at yourself. You are not even from a proper society and you want to be a Brahmana, you want to learn Vedas. But that's not what Gautama Muni said. He was so impressed with the truthfulness of Jabala that he accepted him as his disciple. So that's the example of Brahminical quality. So he was born in such a low family, but because he exhibited those qualities, Gautama Muni accepted. There are many examples, like Suta Goswami is not like Brahmana also, but he was accepted as the teacher for all the sages in Naimisharanya. So there are many examples, but just one or two for reference for today. And then Kshatriya. Kshatriya has to exhibit these qualities. He has to be influential in battle. He has to be unconquerable, patient, challenging, and charitable. He has to control the bodily necessities, to be forgiving. He has to be attached to the Brahminical nature and to be always jolly and truthful. These are the symptoms of a Kshatriya. So nowadays, Kshatriyas, they don't even go to the battlefield, leave alone being influential in the battle. So that's a disqualification in itself. A Kshatriya is supposed to be leading his army. And then he should be unconquerable. A Kshatriya never returns from the battlefield being defeated. He either leaves his body on the battlefield fighting or wins the battle and comes back. That's how a Kshatriya lives. So Kshatriyas, they have a high level of honor. They cannot just be shameless and do things that are shameless just to keep the position. That's how the political leaders are nowadays. They're not unconquerable, but they do all kinds of manipulations, political intrigues to keep their position. That is not Kshatriya quality. Kshatriyas are patient, they are challenging and charitable. Kshatriyas are very charitable. If someone goes and asks him for anything, they give. If they promise to give something, they keep their word. There is this famous story of King Shibi. There was one bird which comes and takes shelter of King Shibi. And to save that bird, King Shibi was ready to give up his own life. He was trying to match the flesh of the bird for an eagle that wanted to eat the bird. And then he kept cutting parts of his body flesh to match, but then because it's a test for him, no amount of flesh could equate the bird's weight. So finally he sat himself to give himself to match the bird's weight. So it was actually a couple of demigods who were trying to test his charity, but he won. He was ready to give up himself. That is a Kshatriya. And Kshatriyas also control the bodily necessities. They don't just get easily thirsty and hungry and get all overtaken by the bodily necessities. They can stay like without water or food for many days. And they're forgiving. And most important is they are attached to the Brahminical nature. So if a Kshatriya is not attached to the Brahminical nature, his passion will guide him, because a Kshatriya is in the mode of passion. So it's important for any rulers to take guidance from Brahmanas. And that is a proper Kshatriya. If a Kshatriya, maybe he's valiant, he's unconquerable, maybe he's challenging and charitable, but unless he takes shelter of a Brahmana, he takes guidance from a Brahmana, the whole kingdom will be ruined because of the passion. So to sustain something, there is a need for mode of goodness, and Brahmanas provide that for Kshatriyas. So it never functions if a Kshatriya doesn't have a Brahmana counselor. And the next thing is they are always jolly and truthful. Truthfulness is a requirement for them also, for Kshatriyas. If somebody is leading, they cannot lie to their subjects or anyone else. So that is the symptoms, the qualities of Kshatriyas. So the next is what they do. Kshatriyas, they can levy taxes on Brahmanas. They cannot levy taxes on Brahmanas, but they can levy minimal taxes on other people. So Brahmanas are never under the control of Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas are supposed to take shelter of Brahmanas, but they cannot ask them for taxes or they cannot rule over them. Kshatriyas are always under the Brahmanas' guidance. So then they can do some customs and they can do some fines and all those things. Those are the ways they can earn the money required. So one example for Kshatriyas is there is this Karna story. So Karna, he was born to Kunti before she got married. So Kunti actually put him in a basket and left him in Ganga. But then this carpenter, Adhiratha, and his wife Radha, they found this boy and they were so enamored by Karna, because he was wearing this golden armor and he was looking so beautiful with his earrings and everything. And they took him and they raised him. But eventually Karna, because he was a Kshatriya, he wanted to learn the martial arts. He wanted to learn the archery. So he tells his parents that I want to learn that. I don't want to become a charioteer. Adhiratha was actually a charioteer. So then he goes to Drona to ask him to teach, but Drona refuses to teach. And then he goes to Parashurama. Drona refused to teach Karna because he was not a Kshatriya. So the reason is when these martial arts, these great astras, these weapons are given, they have to be given to a person of a certain character. If it is given to people of not so good character, they may misuse the knowledge, they may misuse the power. Same thing with Brahminical culture. Like in olden days, not everybody was supposed to learn everything. It's not discrimination. It's a way of protecting the social harmony. So if everybody learns, a Brahmana, if he learns the scriptures, because he possesses these qualities, he won't manipulate what's in the scriptures. He'll present it as it is for the welfare of all the other classes. So that's the reason why a person should be qualified to receive a certain type of education. Same thing here, because Karna, like Drona thought he wasn't a Kshatriya. So that's why he didn't impart those Kshatriya skills to him. And then because Karna was so desperate, he goes again to Parashurama to learn. And Parashurama did not want to teach anything to Kshatriyas because Kshatriyas were so disobedient at that time, and he killed them 21 times, and he does not like Kshatriyas. So Karna lies to Parashuram that he's a Brahmana to learn the martial arts. So he learns everything, and one day Parashuram wanted to rest, and then he rests on the lap of Karna. So when Parashurama was resting on the lap of Karna, one insect starts biting Karna. So he patiently tolerates everything. And then after some time, blood started coming, and Parshuram actually feels the wet blood, and then he wakes up. And then he asks him, what happened? And then Karna tells that this insect is biting me, and I didn't want to disturb your sleep. That's why I was tolerating it. I was being patient. So by that, Parshuram could understand that this person is a Kshatriya. He's not a Brahmana, like he said. And then he curses Karna that you lied to me. So Karna tells, because he thinks he is not a Kshatriya. He thinks, I'm not even a Kshatriya. I'm not a Brahmana. I'm sorry, I lied to you, but I'm not a Kshatriya. So Kshatriyas, they have that fortitude. They can withstand so much, and they can tolerate, and they can be patient and continue to work towards what needs to be done. And the third Varna is Vaishya. Vaishyas, they should always be devoted to demigods, the spiritual master, and the Supreme Lord Vishnu. They endeavor for advancement in dharma, artha, and kama, religious principles, economic development, and sense gratification. And they believe the words of spiritual master and scripture, and they always endeavor with expertise in earning money. These are the symptoms of a Vaishya. So they also have this duty to follow the directions of Brahmanas, and they do agriculture, trade, and protection of cows. And like it is said, they are expert in earning money. So Prabhupada, in one of the lectures, he gives this example of Nandi family. And it is a last name, actually. Some Bengalis, they have that last name. He is from a Vaishya family, And one day he goes to ask one of his friends for some capital to start some business. So the friend, he asks him, are you a Vaishya? And then he says, yes, I'm a Vaishya. So then he says, why are you asking me for money? Money is lying on the roads. So at that time there was plague in India, and there were some dead rats on the roads. If someone brings a dead rat, the government was giving them like 2 annas. At that time there were no rupees, it's measured in annas. So this Nandi, he goes and he just collects some dead rats and he gets some money, and from that he buys some betel leaves, he cleans them up, some not so good betel leaves, he cleans them up and then he sells them for more money. Like that he made so much money, and eventually they become very rich. That Nandi family becomes very rich. So this is the quality of a Vaishya. He's a real Vaishya. He's expert at earning money. They can figure out where to go get something for cheap and sell, where to sell it to get profit, and how to manage money and everything. They're expert at it. But they should also follow the directions of Brahmanas. So that is important for them too. And finally, the last Varna is Shudra. So offering obeisances to the higher sections of society, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, being always very clean, being free from duplicity, serving one's master, performing sacrifices without uttering mantras, not stealing, always speaking the truth, and giving all protection to the cows and Brahmanas. These are the symptoms of the Shudra. For the Shudras, the only duty is to accept a master from a higher social order and engage in his service. So this is very interesting. It's not like they project Shudras like unclean and somebody whom you don't want to be around. Shudras are supposed to be very clean also. And they have to faithfully serve a master. Even in sacrifices, they can participate, but they don't have to utter the mantras. They have to be truthful. They should not steal. They should be free from duplicity. So these are all the qualities a proper Shudra has. So nowadays, it's less than a Shudra. The quality of human beings is less than a Shudra. So in Vedic culture, even a Shudra is a very highly qualified person. So any Varna, people can follow properly and make advancement by following all these rules. They can make advancement. And it's not like one Varna has to be puffed up that they are greater than the other Varnas. Brahmanas also have service attitude for everyone else, because their role is to educate everybody for their benefit. It's not that he educates because he'll get some money from them. Somebody like a Shudra may not be able to give anything to Brahmana, maybe very little, but still Brahmanas are supposed to be like the sun. That's what Srila Prabhupada says. Sun gives the sunlight everywhere, and Brahmana should use his intelligence. Everyone should be able to take advantage of his intelligence. Everyone should benefit from his intelligence. So that is the service attitude that they need to maintain. And Kshatriyas, they also should have service attitude. They should protect everyone else, and they should provide Brahmanas whatever necessities they may need for their sacrifices, for their execution of devotional service. And Vaishyas, they provide material necessities for the rest of the society, and Shudras serve them. So everyone need to have this service attitude. That's when it will be very harmonious and no problems of I'm better than you or you're better than me. There are particular tendencies for a particular person, and that's how they are engaged. So after explaining all these things, Narada Muni, he concludes by saying this verse, which is very important for our movement also. Srila Prabhupada used this as the fundamental idea, because of which he initiated even people born in other castes into Brahminical initiation. So yasya yallakshanam proktam pumso varnabhivyanjakam yadanyatrapi drishyeta tattenaiva vinirdishet. If one shows the symptoms of being a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra as described above, even if he has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to those symptoms of classification. So when Srila Prabhupada initiated all the Westerners into Brahminical initiation, the caste Brahmanas in India, they raised a lot of concern. But this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam that this is how it has to be. This is as clear as it can get. So even if a person has appeared in a different class, he should be accepted according to the symptoms. All the symptoms are described, and if a person is fitting all those symptoms, is displaying all those symptoms, then he can be initiated as a Brahmana. In that purport, Prabhupada cites this verse that we are discussing today. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagasha. And he says in that a Brahmana who's born in a Brahmana family, if he doesn't have the qualifications, he's only called as Brahmabandhu. Whereas a Shudra, if he has the qualities of Brahmana, he is considered as a Brahmana. And our movement is meant for developing those qualities, regardless of the birth. Birth is not a criteria. The qualities are the criteria, and one can develop those qualities. And then finally, in this current purport, Prabhupada says that Krishna conscious devotees are beyond all these Varnashrama designations. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he's offering prayers to Jagannath, when Jagannath was on the Rath Yatra cart, he says, Naham vipro na chanarapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varne na cha grihapatir no vanasto yatirva kintu prodhyam nikila paramananda purnamritabdher gopi bhartu padakamalayur dasa dasanudasaha. So he says, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya or a Shudra. Nor am I a brahmachari, a householder, a vanaprastha, or a sannyasi. I identify myself only as the servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He is like an ocean of nectar, and he is the cause of universal transcendental bliss. He is always existing with brilliance. So we don't have to identify with that. We have to transcend it. This Varnashrama system is meant for the smooth running of the society, but ultimately we cannot get stuck in that system. We have to execute it, but then that is not the ultimate goal of life. That is meant to elevate us to the transcendental platform. And then even in Devahuti's prayers to Lord Kapila, when Kapila was about to leave, after all his instructions to his mother, he was about to go take sannyas. At that time, Devahuti offers some prayers to him. In that, she says, Aho batashva pachato gariyan yajjihvagre vartate namatubhyam te pustapaste juhuvu shashnurarya brahmanu churnama grinanti ete. Oh, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting your holy name. Even if born in the families of dog eaters, such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name of your lordship must have executed all kinds of austerities and fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. To be chanting the holy name of your lordship, they must have bathed at holy places of pilgrimage, studied the Vedas, and fulfilled everything required. So doesn't matter if somebody is born in the family of dog eaters. If they chant the holy name of the Lord, that means they have already executed everything required in their previous lives. That's when they come to this stage of chanting the holy name. So that's all I have. I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments?
Very nice explanation, Mataji, of all the four varnas. And I was actually thinking early, before you explain what a Shudra is, I was
Mm.
thinking, how can a Shudra advance in Krishna consciousness, especially if they have qualities like meat eating and, intoxication and things like that. But then you said that's not what a Shudra is supposed to be. He's
Mhm.
supposed to serve Brahmanas, right? Or
Mhm.
have the service mode and not
Yes.
have the qualities of, cheating or, untruthfulness and things like that. So
Mhm.
that's what, so the earlier Varnashrama system was really meant to be more um, for the sake of functioning society, not necessarily with someone who was lower in rank kind of thing, right?
Yes, yes. And I've seen in my own life some very nice Shudras, like who worked for our family for generations, and
Mhm.
they don't have any bad habits. They just simply serve, and even the masters, they take care of their family if they have any medical needs, or
Mhm.
if
Mhm.
some weddings happen in their family. That's how the master is supposed to be, and that's how a servant is supposed to be. But the whole system is ruined when people started exploiting Shudras and not really caring for them.
Right, right,
Yeah, and they also got into all these bad habits, and the whole thing just collapsed.
right. And then they have anger also now towards the higher
Exactly.
castes because they are kind of considered, not given the respect they should be given,
Mm-hmm.
and the care.
Yes. Yeah, even if a Shudra is a devotee, they were respected. Didn't matter if they belong to higher caste or not. If somebody is a Vaishnava, even there is a story of this Brahmana and cobbler. I think you all know about that. Narada Muni,
Right,
yeah,
right.
and Brahmana and cobbler. So they were given proper respect at one point of time. They were not exploited, but even the exploitation is not just a make-up story. It did happen, so that's why they turned into um, rebellious group of people.
Right. And then now there is sometimes reverse exploitation
Yes,
also.
I know, I know. Yeah, it is happening. The reverse is happening now.
So it's kind of a hodgepodge and a mess at this point. Yeah.
Yes, it's very hard to bring it back to its original glory.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Prabhupada had a vision to some degree, right, to bring the society into
Yes.
a Varnashrama system, but
Yeah, we can try to follow at least within the society some things. There is a ministry, Varnashrama ministry. I think they're trying a little bit to do all these things.
and I mean, didn't Srila Prabhupada says that naturally there is a division of labor, whether we
Yes.
follow it as a Varnashrama system or not.
Mhm.
I mean, naturally there are people who are more inclined to, you know, warfare, and naturally people are inclined to, more education or, seeking knowledge, and naturally people are inclined to business or mercantile,
Mhm.
profession. So there is some level of natural inclination.
Yes, even in the Western society, it is there.
Yeah, even in the Western society. Yeah.
Yeah, some people are inclined to teach and become professors, and if there is some some conflict or some riot, always some people go up and try to save people who are being abused or attacked. So that is a kshatriya. Naturally, some people are kshatriyas, some people are brahmanas, and some people are vaishyas. They can make money out of anything, and some people just want to do their job and come home and not be bothered about owning anything or managing anything. So that's the Shudra mentality.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else? If not, it's 8:01, so we'll stop here. Thank you all, everybody, for your association. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai.
Antakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Shri
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
Sundari Radhika Mata ji ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.